Why Red Dead Redemption 2's frozen horse bits are more important than you'd think. Even though we are only a week and a half out from Red Dead 2 gracing our screens, we are still a week and a half out. And the countdown could not be worse. I want to play it so bad. Luckily, from frozen horsey bits to 100-hour work weeks, there is still plenty to talk about with the upcoming Old West shooter before it drops on October 26th. Last Sunday, in an interview with Vulture, Rockstar Games co-founder and Red Dead 2 co-writer Dan Houser revealed that some people in the company had been working 100-hour weeks to finish the game. Now, this quote, painting a picture of overworked employees and reminding people about the horrors of crunch time in the games industry, led to a good amount of think pieces, articles, and Twitter reactions about the studio's overtime hours. Now, Red Dead Redemption 2 is reportedly a huge game, like super big. In the Vulture interview, Houser said it contains 300,000 animations and 500,000 lines of dialogue, and the game map is supposedly so large that it contains the entire map of the first Red Dead Redemption, and that's but a fraction of the full game world size. But it isn't the gigantic map or insane amounts of dialogue options that some fans are focusing on in their criticisms of the company. It's horse testicles. And no, we are not making this up. Last month, the website Rockstar Intel revealed in a tweet that one of the game's features is that horse testicles will change size depending on the weather conditions. And of course, many fans use this exciting new feature to roast Rockstar on social media. For example, Twitter user @CoroLeoYT said, "The dude that programmed the balls from the horses in Red Dead Redemption 2 gonna be like, this must be ready for the next trailer, even if it costs 100 hours a week." @GeekyChristine also chimed in, tweeting, "Who cares about employee burnout, sane work/life balance, and their not-so-subtle impacts on mental and physical health when you have quality content like this?" And Twitter user @QueenAnthai cut straight to the chase, tweeting, "This was certainly worth the absolute bullshit of their devs working 100-hour weeks." Just as things were about to reach a boiling point, Rockstar released a statement to gaming website Kotaku last Monday, clarifying Houser's 100-hour work weeks quote. In Rockstar's statement attributed to Houser, he said, "There seems to be some confusion arising from my interview with Harold Goldberg. The point that I was trying to make in the article was related to how the narrative and dialogue in the game was crafted, which was mostly what we talked about, not about the different processes of the wider team. After working on the game for 7 years, the senior writing team, which consists of 4 people, Mike Unsworth, Rupert Humphreys, Laszlo, and myself, had, as we always do, 3 weeks of intense work when we wrapped everything up. 3 weeks, not years." Houser continued, "That additional effort is a choice, and we don't ask or expect anyone to work anything like this." So, to reiterate, according to Rockstar, those long hours were worked by the game's writers and senior staff and not by the team responsible for horse bit physics. I like that we're calling them bits. At the risk of editorializing, working long hours has long been a part of the video game industry. Oftentimes, a Metacritic score can be the difference between employees receiving a bonus check or being laid off. There is a lot of pressure on many people in the industry to make every game perfect. A few poorly received games can even put a Game of the Year winning company straight out of business. Now, as we mentioned, this isn't the first time that working an insane amount of overtime has happened in the games industry, and it probably won't be the last, but in general, we don't think gamers would mind if a game was delayed for a few months if it meant that video game industry employees were treated a little better. We totally see both sides of the issue, and Houser said himself that we obviously don't expect anyone else to work this way, but at the end of the day, we don't know what happens behind closed doors at these companies. Also, in the words of Nintendo wonderkin Shigeru Miyamoto, "A delayed game is eventually good, but a rushed game is forever bad." God, he's a gaming genius. So true. But what do you folks think? Are you excited about Red Dead Redemption 2? Would you be okay with video games taking a little longer to come out if it meant for better working conditions in the video game industry as a whole? And what's your favorite type of cowboy hat? Ours is the classic Stetson, also an excellent man's cologne from the 80s and 90s. Let's discuss. Be sure to like, subscribe, and mash that little bell to get notified every time we drop a video or go live with the show. Speaking of which, if you missed out on Orbital Redux, our interactive live-action sci-fi show starring Spider-Man voice actor Yuri Lowenthal, then you are in luck. This Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific, we are marathoning all of the episodes to Nerdist YouTube, Geek and Sundry's Twitch, and ProjectAlpha.com. If you want to get in on the interactivity, you'll need to sign up for Alpha. Just use the promo code ORBITAL to get a 60-day free trial.